Ruy Lopez opening, Morphy defense, Smyslov-Breyer-Zaitsev hybrid system. Balanced, neither player ever had an advantage. That game was pretty competitive. Both players had an amazing opening. That was an incredible middle game by both players. Sharp games are frequently the result of starting with the king's pawn, since it dominates the center and frees up the bishop and queen on the light squares. A typical answer is e5, which builds a position in the middle, controls d4, and frees up the queen and bishop on the dark square. The move nf3 advances the knight toward the center, engages the e5 piece in combat, and sets up a castle. nc6 defends the pawn on e5, advances the knight toward the center, and scans the d4 square. The Ruy Lopez opening develops the bishop to immediately attack the knight on c6, the lone defender of the e5 pawn. a6 forces the bishop to decide, exchange or retreat. ba4 safely retreats the bishop while keeping pressure on the knight. nf6 attacks the undefended e4 pawn and develops the knight at the same time. Castling gets the king out of the center and prepares to develop the rook to e1. b7 develops the dark squared bishop and prepares to castle. 1 rupee centralizes the rook and protects the e4 pawn. b5 gains space on the queen side and forces the bishop to the b3 square. bb3 is forced, but the bishop is well placed because it attacks the f7 square. d6 defends the e5 pawn and allows the light squared bishop to develop. c3 prepares the d2-d4 pawn break and clears the c2 square for the light squared bishop. Castling gets the king out of the center and activates the rook. h3 prevents black from developing the light squared bishop to g4, which would pin the knight and make it hard for white to play d4. re8 centralizes the rook and opens up the f8 square. d4 attacks the e5 pawn, opens the diagonal for the dark squared bishop, and gains space in the center. By doing this, a bishop moves out of its beginning square and into the action. By doing this, a knight moves out of its beginning square and into the action. Games master. It is the final book action. That's fine. It is good. What I would have advised is that it is ideal. This shifts the bishop to a square with more activity, giving it greater scope. That's good. This ignores an opportunity to strike at the center with a pawn. It is an inaccuracy. By growing a queen from its beginning square, this activates the queen. It is quite good. The rooks are linked by this, making it easier for them to work together in the future. It is ideal. A very strong play. It is excellent. That's a decent move. That's good. Now that the rooks can see one another, they can defend one another. It is quite good. This develops a rook off its starting square, getting it into the action. It is good. This exchange is fair. That's good. Backs off. That's good. Very precise. It is best. While not a mistake, that is also not the wisest course of action. That's good. This loses a chance to imply that winning a pawn is possible. It is incorrect. Perfectly on point. It is ideal. There were worse moves, but also something much better. It is an inaccuracy. This strikes at the center, countering the opponent's ability to grab space. This threatens to fork pieces. It is excellent. The best choice is this one. It is ideal. Recaptures. It is ideal. This keeps the material balance in check with good commerce. It is quite good. What I would have advised is that it is ideal. The pawn is now adequately defended. It is best. Balanced, neither player ever had an advantage. That game was pretty competitive. Both players had an amazing opening. That was an incredible middle game by both players. After all captures, this is an equal trade. It is best. Balanced, neither player ever had an advantage. That game was pretty competitive. Both players had an amazing opening. That was an incredible middle game by both players.